I'll verify it on YouTube.
Cool.
I have to upload these after the show on Facebook because I'm shadow banned. I can't even go live. I can't share links. And it's been 3 weeks into it, and it's really affected my perspective of abundance. Let me put it, hey, we're going to cut you off. And I'm like, okay. And then it goes on for a while, and I go into a forced fast because I run out of resources, right? But the cool thing was, what I heard was, just keep shining your soul, your heart and your soul, Yeah, you should be all right now. We should be there.
Thank you.
And
There's still a bit of a delay. It's all good.
it's going to come.
Good.
It'll come. It'll take a couple of minutes. Hang on. Let me just go back here.
As long as people can hear us, that's the main thing.
Yeah, they
and
can
it's
hear
all
us.
good, clear. Yeah, beautiful. Welcome, everyone.
All right, hang on. Let me make sure we got this right. Yeah, I was putting out... Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. You're fine.
There's some, there's some background music.
I'm going to take it off. The lag will stop, though. It'll stop. So, all right, here we are again with Raeline. We were just talking before we came on about, how things are going, and, let me take that off. And, what's been happening. It's been the most intense few days of my life. I can't even pinpoint when it started, but it's something like, I don't know how to explain it, but to me, it's like we keep going forward, and every now and then we hit this nexus point. And it's only within ourselves. It's not like, hey, we just arrived to this place together. It's more like you come into this place and all this, I don't know, what do you say? All this information, code, memories, tech, it all comes in and explodes. And your human's going, what in the hell is going on? Now, a lot of people will look at you, Raeline, and be like, oh, she doesn't go through that.
Oh, yes, she does.
Yeah, I know she does. We all do.
I feel too much. A lot of my work is that I can't shut down. So I feel everything, especially what's happening at the planetary level. And it all mirrors through my body and my body parts. So, yeah, I feel it very intensely, actually. Very intensely. But that's what I've come here for. And yeah, we're all going through it, and we're all having all of this stuff happening to our bodies. And just to say, we only get what we are ready for, no more, no less. That is our comfort in knowing that, and also that no one is forsaken. If you're here, then you've signed up for it all. Just by being here. That is the prerequisite, just by being here, just by coming. And as I say, many are here, but not many have fully arrived in all their source-coded essence. So that is happening more and more now, and it's absolutely glorious. We're no longer aborting mission or misconceiving of ourselves. We're being able to birth through the planetary womb gates now with all of our starry and cosmic and source-coded essence. And that is just a delight to see now as everything's switching on, everything on our planet is switching on. And last time I was on, Todd, we chose this date because while I was in Peru, I kept getting 1, 2, 3, hop, skip, jump, together with the date, the 1st of the 23rd, which is today, January 21st. And I was told that this would be very significant, that there would be a a quickening of the frequencies in such a way to have us really anchor in now, anchor and alchemize through true self on the planet. And that's no small feat. It really isn't. So there's a cosmic reordering and a harmonic restoration happening to all the, what I call the crystalline fields of our earth, the crystalline structures of our earth, the harmonics of our earth. You know, so we're octavating, we're going up a spiral along the frequency. We're galactivating, in short. And it's really glorious to see so many coming online. I'm just getting hit up on Messenger, and a whole lot of people are coming to me. Oh, this grid, that place, that place. Now, all last year was all about working with very core groups, which was called the Earth Star Mission Crew, and this year it's becoming the Genesis Mission Crew. And the difference is that we were going around working with all the tectonic plate systems and all the volcanic systems and all the mother arcing systems on the planet, opening everything up according to our propensities and our keys and codes. And this year, what's happened is all the innate technologies, the biotech within us, is now interfacing with things like pyramid structures, temple complexes, all these ancient technologies, these spiritual techno devices that are in all these locations all around the world are reanimating. They're waking up. So a lot of that is to do with the dragons and the dragon kingdoms realigning their gateways, their intraterrestrial gateways, back to surface Earth, and then reconnecting that in a cosmic sense with the cosmic gates. Those two realms, the cosmic and the intraterrestrial, inner Earth, have remained open, but the surface Earth shut down for many millennia due to malevolent activities, we might say. So what's happened in the last 2 weeks especially is that there has been an incredible purging and expelling from the physical and the planetary body to do with the fall of Atlantis. And so we have entered back into what's called the pre-fall frequency, which is amazing. It really is amazing. And so it is a golden time now. It's a golden age. We're all receiving our golden keys and codes. It's an exaltation time. Everything's exalted. All the planets are lining up today. There's a stellium, so everything's really bunched together in a cluster. And Aquarius is all about freedom and higher thinking. And so that aligns with what the information I was getting was, because for a while the mind gate of our planet was locked, and that's unlocking now. And so we are able to push past the trapping and the netting mechanisms that had us looping in this reincarnation, on the treadmill of samsara, the hamster wheel of repeat, rinse and repeat. And now we have actually moved into our innate frequency bands that we have said as souls that we would come and hold here and anchor and alchemize within the architecture of the earth and acupuncture the earth with our soul quintessence. And so many are doing this now, and many are coming on board with working with the grids, and even locally, act locally, think globally. Everything links up. Nothing is separate. No thing is separate. So, yeah, this has been an increase in the collective frequency band relating to embodied consciousness and pure gnosis. And if we can remain connected with our pure gnosis, then it's a total done deal. And many are listening to self over all the external chatter. We're going in now for the inner tuition within the inner realms of self. It is the inner child that leads us, that has the key, that opens the door to the wise one within. And that self-actualization is bringing self-realization. So the wise are becoming actualized now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're talking about, it's like what, when you talk about the pyramids and, the other monoliths and so many other things that have been left from what we think is antiquity, which is really just yesterday, because it's only like 6 to 12,000 years ago, most of it. But it's like memories coming back in the physical. We left the cookie crumb trail here, right? And the other thing I would say is you captured everything eloquently. There's really nothing left to say, but I have to add, after what after what I unexpectedly have been experiencing the last few days, is the indelible, the intriguing, I don't even have the word, of the connection between that which you described and the brutal honesty of the soul as it comes into and embodies within the human body. And like you said, there's physical, there's mental, there's emotional. Obviously, they're not staying as long as they used to, but everything is coming into our awareness at a rate that is like rabbit speed, but turtle wisdom. It's like you can bring in the streams and get what it's telling you, and they come faster and faster and faster, and you can handle it. And I think that's the last thing I'd like to add to what you had to say is, bottom line is, we're covered. The universe has our back. So nothing that can be presented to us or ever has been is anything that we couldn't handle. And that says a lot. That says more than that about souls incarnating at this space and time in the human experience. It's beyond novel. It's new code beyond the math and science and geometry that the universe even had before we stepped into this moment. And it's up to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Yes. Again, very eloquent. And where do I begin? There's so many aspects to this, and it's everything what's happening now. It's everything. So we're reaching greater celestial fractality. So we as fractals of cosmic and universal are bringing in our soul quintessence, our soul, being able to alchemize it all. And this is something really amazing that so many are showing up now in this capacity. And it's opening up the primordial portals and all the convergencies of these portals through our sun star corridor within our earth. We negate that everything is inside our earth. All dimensions converge and exist within our earth. And we have our own sun star corridor of stellar proportions. And that is influencing the 1D, 2D, and 3D interdimensional portals as they realign in the organic, as I was saying. So we've been negating this 1D, 2D, and everything exists. This is our Earth star's diamond core. This is the core of the center of our Earth. And we have that core, that diamond core in us. And that is the rainbow diamond body. And that rainbow diamond body is coming back online, for want of a better word, in ways that are truly, it's going to blow our mind. Things are happening. Our vision is increasing, the spectrum of our vision, the my ring light just did a major flash then when I said that. And it's been happening with this ring light. It keeps flashing when I say certain things that, are on point.
It's an extension of
So,
you.
well, it's an extension of us. It
True.
is, and this is my point. We are reaching mind. The mind to heart gate is open now. And this is why the pure gnosis can flood back in. And this is a game changer because the pure gnosis is instantaneous. There is no frag, there is no delay. So it overrides all inorganic mimicry systems. And that has had a huge influence over the last.
You there?
Piggybacking. Yes, I'm here. Are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You cut
can you
out.
hear me?
Yeah, you cut out. You're good.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, a lot of the inorganic timelines and different grids have collapsed due to us coming online with our pure gnosis, because it's overriding all the mimicry systems. And this is huge. So with the rainbow diamond body, I was shown that, like the 1111 phenomenon, people will start seeing rainbows everywhere. And I don't just mean after a storm. It could be when you're watering the garden and there's a rainbow coming in the midst of the hose, with the water coming out. It might be in a waterfall. It might be, lots of people are experiencing the sunbows now, the rainbows around the sun and the moonbows, and also things like dolphin and whale blowholes. Just rainbows will start showing up to confirm things for us. And this is part of what's called the mother arcing systems. And this is having a profound effect on our bodies and what's called the diamond rainbow body, which is part of our higher solar body. So before I was talking about the mind gates, there were locks placed over the mind gate of our planet, and that those locks have been unshackled. And what that means is that the mental body, we are able to move out of the mind and connect it in with the heart. But more importantly, what that means is that we are able to access our higher mind, which is our solar mental body. And we can see with this X flare that happened a couple of days ago that we have reached a level where that has not happened. That sort of X flare in that capacity, directly beamed straight to our Earth and influencing all the stars in our bones, influencing our blood song, our golden blood plasma, influencing all the cells, lighting up like little sun stars themselves. All that has not occurred for a very long time. So we have been able to hold the frequency now, which has taken out a lot of ancient grid systems that are no longer applicable. So today there's a stellium of Pluto, Vesta, Venus, Pallas Athene. And, it's been kicked off by the new moon in Capricorn. So there's a lot of newness. And we are calling in, when I say we arrive, we're calling in now our ancient futurist self. Oh, the ring light went really, really bright then, like brighter than before. And that was really bright. So now we stand at the precipice of new frontiers that we are creating. Total newness now, as I say, which has never been done before, not in Atlantean times, not in Lemurian times, not in Hyperborean times. We're actually moving back into the Palladorian covenants, the originator races that came here, the founder races, and we're remembering ourselves within that capacity, and we are creating new harmonic blueprints. We've learnt the lessons of the past. And as I say, the lower mind can only hold us in the past because it's like a computer and it can only dish out information by what's been put in previously. But now we are working in 0 point, in the now, in our consciousness, and we are taking it up a notch or 1,000.
Well, I think that was the whole point of going through this experience, because everything you just said is very true, but the thing that we're adding to it is the information that we've gathered from there to here. And even with what you're saying, which, I said at the beginning was like, something's going on the last few days. The human is definitely aware. May not be fully conscious, may not be able to explain it, development, or, are you a light in the light world, whatever, But the point is that it's being felt more and more and more. And I think the basis of it is the human is trusting itself at a deeper level, which involves its multidimensionality, its soul, its higher self, its oversoul, whatever you want to call it, all of the above. And that's what's the game changer. That's, if you look at the time period with this flare, and that was that geomagnetic storm was the severest we've had in 20 years. They compared it to the Carrington event in 1859, where it blew all the telegraphs out. That was us. But to your point earlier, we're not going to bring anything upon us that we can't handle. We're just changing the words, because before it was an external universe putting something on us. And even in that case, whether it was a distortion, duality, distraction, whatever the case was, we still had enough to handle it. That's why we're here. So I feel like, to me, over the, like talking to you now and just taking into account the last few days and what I've received in my own communion out at the beach, which has been just fucking off the wall level of communication that I can't explain to anybody else. But when I talk to you, I pick up the same band of frequencies. I can feel in the field that these brothers and sisters are getting it too, in some extraordinary flyer of life way. The network is there. And the bottom line is, I think when you talk about, getting past that tipping point individually, we are listening to ourselves. We are doing that in a way that it brings in the Trinity energy of serving you, me, and the collective equally. And that's, I'm waking up every morning like a little kid, like 5 years old, on my knees saying,
Exactly.
just show me, may I be the highest available, accessible level of compassion and empathy, and show me how I can serve. And then I even heard it this morning. I heard that's what you're all saying, right? But it has been taxing, and it's not all at the same time. We all go through our things differently. emotionally, physically, mentally. But what you said was so profound to me, what you alluded, and I just put it in my words, which is the level of consciousness and comprehension, even if it can't be understood at a cognitive human level, is such that we're still going that direction. And more people are. And therefore, the old stories, the appendages, the threads that are attached to us, the glue that won't get off of us is dropping off. And it's dropping off not only by our own movements forward, but as we move forward, we find that we're moving in unison with so many others, more and more with each step, you know? Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Really, and that is it. We're moving out of that doubting Thomas phase where we second guess ourselves, where we have to prove and defend. You know, we become our own judge and jury with persecution wounds. And we've moved through that now. There is enough of us holding this down now to really help. And this is the pure gnosis part, self-actualization, bringing self-realization. The whys are actualized. And what I mean by that is just going with that feeling of that you know that you know that you know. And you don't need to prove or defend or explain why you know, because that feeling is so strong. It just overrides everything. And there is so many of us now being able to reclaim the gifts, you know, the gifts that we've come in with. So when I say that we are ancient futurists, you know, we're standing at a precipice now of new frontiers whilst reanimating our innate skill set, you know, and we are the master builders. And we're restructuring and reclaiming this now. And the whole thing of what we've just stepped into and what this stellium in Aquarius is cosmic innovation and evolutionary organic technologies. So we are so supported because even all the planets and all the constellations are also going through their octave of going up into a higher cycle of frequency. And so we're all in this together. And this stellium is like an extra boost, not just for the planetary bodies, but us giving to them. We're all in this. And fractally, it is just, there is so much synthesis. And you know, we're reaching this harmonic resonance and cosmic reordering, as I said, and we're igniting our founder race flames. You know, those that originally came here in all their stellar glory to help set up the architecture and the harmonic blueprints of this planet in its inauguration. And many are remembering themselves at that level. And there are more coming now. There are more coming in. The womb gates are in, you know, the planetary womb gates are in full dilation. And we are having beings come in through those gates, some through the birthing womb gates of their mothers. I've been helping with that as well, helping the mothers get to connect in with the beings that are coming through their womb gate and to understand the connection that they have with stargates and entry and exit gates on our planet. You know, this if everybody knows their entry and exit gate, this is also a game changer. The gate you come in through and the gate you leave, and the nodal access point on the body of the earth, the surface earth. And I show people how to connect in with this. in the right settings. And it is a self-initiation, and it is a self-galactivation to come back into alignment with our entry and exit gates. But there are many now getting to know this and supporting the ones that are coming in through their bodies, through their wombs, to have their entry and their exit gate strongly anchored and alchemized. So the this is part of the waters, cosmic waters. The celestial water memory field has been so strong. And the celestial memory field is remembering itself and witnessing recollections of forgotten mythos within the 13 sequences of no time. So we are the masters of no time. And we're reframing within the fluidity of true mythos, relinquishing all the false-hearted fables that have been fictitiously fed to us as distorted accounts. And we are remembering, reigniting our true to life, inner earth, and extraterrestrial chronicles, the true accounts of who we are and what we hold. Because there's been a lot of, well, fuckery really with the stories that's been fed to us.
You
Really
think so?
severely,
Let
right
me, let me,
royally shafted with the stories that we have just, and this is the pure gnosis part, this is the bullshit we've been fed for so long, and it's coming up in our face because, in the current exo geopolitical arena, because it's necessary now, and this is the pure gnosis part. We can't forget who we are. And the remembering is putting back the dismembered parts of self and having the BS meter go on when we see and when we feel. This is the frequency part and the vibrational match part.
especially in ourselves.
Yes, the vibrational matching part where we can recognize who's who in the cosmic zoo and the geopolitical arenas, and recognize that this is an old repeat and rinse cycle story that it's dying a slow agonizing death, but it's we're opening up the doorways for that to
We're
quickly
calling it. We're
be
calling it
expelled.
out. We're calling it out.
We're
We're
not just
saying, "Hey,
calling it
man."
out. We're not just calling it out. We're ushering it out.
True.
We're ushering it out.
With
And
reverence, because we
yeah,
wouldn't be who we are if we hadn't met this perceived opposite energy. The other thing I want to just plug in real quick is, as you and as I and as we talk about what ground we have climbed to or come to, what vantage point we've come to. I just want to say for myself, and I think there's a lot of people out there, but it may just be a lot of men. You are feminine, I am masculine, and there are two different paths as we converge. I get that. But I know I'm on this higher ground. But at the same time, I'm still feeling the losses, not in a victim consciousness way. I'm just feeling it. And I guess what I'm saying is, to me, what I've really discovered, like say in the last 2-3 days, and I think this might be masculine, is that there's a direct relationship between my ability to feel what I'm feeling and the expansion that comes with it. I can't get the expansion unless I feel the shit. Basically, I put it in Todd's street terms. Thank you.
yeah, and I'd like to add to that. We are anatomically in male and female bodies, But I have to really catch my male out, because that component, or that aspect of, not of self, but of that dimensional facet of me, tries to override and can be a bit too overprotective of my feminine.
So
And so
is this your galactic masculine? Did you say that? Did I hear you wrong? Or is this say that again?
a dimensional facet of self is very strong,
But are you saying
or
it's
appears to be very strong.
a masculine dimensional aspect of yourself that comes in and does that?
Well, my masculine aspects,
Right, right, right.
my yang
Yeah.
aspects, if we want to talk about it in qualities.
So it comes in and how? How does it come in?
It comes in and it overrides and can become overprotective and can become a little strong. It can come across as quite strong. But there is a very vulnerable and a very feminine side to me that also. So we, all of us, whether we're in male or female bodies, is the point I'm really making here.
Yeah,
Is
so it's almost like what you're
it's
saying
a
is,
dance. It's a
yeah,
constant dance.
so what you're saying is there's like a symbiosis or a synergy. And even though, and I can totally relate both ways within myself, you have one side of you that might seem to come in and exert too much pressure, but on the other side, it receives that without judgment and offers an equal kind of a equilateral kind of a expansion within itself, and therefore with both of them. Yeah, I can see that. Thank you for explaining that. I don't know if anyone else understood it, but
Yeah,
I did.
yeah. I'm sure. We've got this dance. But what I want to say now is that whole struggle with, you know, the polarity pull and the duality reality is really starting to come together now, because more and more are moving in to that mind to heart connection and creating the heart coherence within the collective. And so that's having a profound effect on our yin yang aspects, and being able to harmonize a lot quicker than we normally would, to recognize, to recognize and precognize before we go into, being aware, and just having the little chat from self, from true self, with those aspects that try to override. And there are many dimensional facets of self that try to override. And some of them, you know, they're trying to help in the way they see.
and from the
But
and from the boots on the ground level, it seems like some major antagonist. But do you feel that I don't want to ask a leading question, but do you feel like somebody turned the heat up in the last 7 to 10 days in terms of those energies, which are really aspects of ours that want to light a fire so we can transform, kind of came on a little bit brighter?
absolutely. And this is part of the devices that I'm talking about. It's our biotech that is switching on all these ancient technologies within, the ancient megalithic structures, the temple complexes. I'm about to go to Angkor Wat. That's a major device. And there are several devices around it that feed. So we've got the generators, we've got the transformers, we've we've got all these components that allow us to not trip the wiring in us. And so, yes, the heat has majorly gone up, majorly gone up.
But let me just clarify. That heat is actually coming from our own technology that's being turned on based on the level of the experience that we're having, which is really individually, but also together. That seems to be a big factor as we come together. Like in a case like this, it could be so many other examples, but there's a lot more energy than the two people on the screen here right now. There's something beyond the words. It's a band of frequencies that's expanding into even a higher timeline, obviously, but in another dimension that we're sustaining and expanding on. It's raw. People talk about raw and authenticity, but this is we're talking about and feeling like a very transparent level of intelligence. There's no bullshit when it comes in. You're like, oh my god, that's legit, and it's kind of translating into the way that we move through our lives, even though some of these old patterns still show themselves. I think for me is like the response and the ownership you have to your actions that you take from each given moment, and therefore leaving things behind without judgment and so on. That seems to be the field. The field seems to be like the mother. If you have a mother, she has 10 children, one of the children has a bad night and accidentally kills someone or something like that, goes to prison. The mother will be there for that child without judgment for the rest of his or her life. We'll visit him every month or whatever the case is. This is the kind of energy we're talking about. It's not just like, is everybody getting fed? Is everybody treated fairly? It's deeper than that. It's like this congruence within ourselves where we're all feeling and wanting and knowing the same thing. And that's overriding the whole system as we connect.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is what's happening. All the mother arcing systems, the mother crystals within our planet, the master crystals all through the mother codon, and our mitochondrial and matrilineal architecture of our planet. It is the mother god that we are connecting in with, and that is washing over our planet as a wave of karuna, compassionate action. And it is said in the Vedas, it's said that the unconditional love of a mother is the closest thing that we can experience here on the earth to what it is in the spiritual realms. And we are linking in with the mother and her umbilical cord. Once again, we are recognizing that there are other mothers that we have a profound connection with alongside our birth mother. And many of us are remembering, and that is having a profound effect on our bodies, but it's also having a profound effect. That symbiotic relationship is having a profound effect on our Earth Mother with the grids, the nodes, the living libraries. It's reaching a profound level of amplification and authentic recall and connection.
Yeah, that I told you I go to the Bay every night, which is a couple blocks over, and it's always a new experience, especially through this period of the last 7 to 10 days. But last night, in particular, there was just a moment. Well, there was a communion meditation. I call it communion. Went on for quite some time, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And then I just heard, walk out into the shore, dig your feet in the sand. Because even though I was in communion, in meditation, I still had some little things running on my head. Nothing major, just little things that were there from the wake of my forward motion. I guess I'd put it that way. And when I put my feet in the sand, the waves, all of a sudden, they were like little mini rogue waves. They come in and wet my pants, wet my wallet, wet my phone. But I didn't move. 2 waves came in, and I felt her response. And it felt like what you just said, which wasn't just a one-way thing. It was a 2-way thing. It was like when I made that choice, and that's what I heard. What I heard was, don't worry, don't judge the choice, just make the choice, and then I will show you. And that's what happened. I put my feet in the sand, probably like almost like, my feet were almost totally sunk. And then these two rogue waves come in. And they're like, the water had only been like to my ankles, and all of a sudden it's like up to my thighs. And that's what I heard. I heard almost like, well, this is how you activate. And to activate isn't once a week, once a day now. It's like in every moment you can do this. It's there. We're working in equilibrium. So, yeah, listening to you say that helped me understand what I went through. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's a really good point because we are measuring everything by time. But I would like to switch that up and just say time is simply a way that we can give a reference for our consciousness. It's there just to give a reference for our consciousness. But we've forgotten that we are the masters of time, and we've forgotten that time is malleable, and that the way we access it is not through time, but through consciousness, and that it is simply showing us little reference points along the way to piece things together. And we are now moving into spiralic time because cosmic time is spiralic, and that is the octavation that I'm talking about with the frequencies going up octaves. We are moving into different ways of recognizing and interacting with time as a conscious reference point for being able to bring more scope in. And that's the spectrum that I'm talking about with the rainbow diamond body, and also bringing more expansive awareness rather than having to do the incremental stepping stone 3D linear thing and the duality reality and the tug of war polarity pull. We are moving into this expansive consciousness. We're moving into the spiral. Our blood is spiral. It spirals. It's not linear flowing through our bodies. So it's our blood song that is also waking up a lot on this earth, and the crystals in our blood and the crystals in our golden blood plasma are waking up. And this is healing a lot of the fragmentation of the mother's body. 2025, I went to 14 places around the world, and I only just worked this out a couple of days ago. It's like Isis when she went and recovered the 14 parts of Osiris's body. Her beloved was chopped up by his brother Set. So I went to these 14 places, and these 14 places were about recovering. The first started for me in Angkor Wat when the dragon mother received back her eyesight. Her pineal gland was opened. And then I looked at the 5 towers and the Grand Tower as it lit up with the sun on the equinox when I was there in Angkor Wat. And I realized it was a pine cone. And that took me on a whole journey. And I'd been to 14 places recovering, remembering the mother's body parts. And then not until I'd sort of got home and finally landed a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, it came to me that these are the mother's body parts that we are all remembering through us, through the umbilical cord. And this is the embodied gnosis. When it speaks to us, all that's been tongue-tied is no more. And we can see all these energetic nets of false pride and the Babylonian Babylon, now releasing through specific stargates. Many have been working with the stargate in around Iraq, the 10th gateway, and we can see of this Tower of Babel effect on the portals are course correcting, the confusion of tongues and the erosion of our authenticity and unconscious, unembodied mechanical parroting just shit flying out of our mouths is stopping now. You know, the mimicry and the violation of us not being able to fully stand in our pure gnosis is being recognized by many. You can't fake vibration. What comes out of people's mouths and what they vibrate aren't necessarily the same thing. People are recognizing this now. And this is our first light language. Our pure gnosis is our first light gnosis. So this is when we begin speaking in a million tongues as one, exchanging fire in the eyes. No audible utterance is required. And this is how we re-establish the harmonic blueprinting systems, the sonic sanctuaries, dismantling all that is not in true accord. You know, and this is why I talk about this cosmic reordering and this harmonic converging. You know, these are the pure creatrix patterns of the solar sacrum. You know, it's in all of us. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. We all have galactic womb gates. Because, you know, the sacrum isn't just where we birth babies from. This is where we birth our, you know, our source-coded essence through. We need it. We all hold this. We all hold this. And this is why the techno-spiritual devices are switching on now in organic patterns of pure life currency, our vitality, our crystalline circuitry, interfacing now. You know, and as I say, we are embedding this now in omni states, not just in 1 or 2 or 3 dimensions. We are 1, 2, 3 dimensions hop, skip, jumping now. And this is the date that I've been given that it is going to really springboard off. And this is, as I mentioned, the pre-fall codex. And it is remaining tamper-proof now.
What date is that? Did I miss that? What date is that?
Today. That's
today?
Why I chose today. The first of the 23rd.
God, that's right. The 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I get it.
Hop, skip, jump.
Because I saw something earlier today that resonated and was talking about, I think, the 28th. But yeah, today's 22, and every time we get together, there seems to be, go figure that. You pick the dates. There seems to be some big thing happening.
We're all looking for 5D, yes. That allows us to hold our heart in coherence galactically. But we can't negate the 1D, our inner core diamond crystal in our planet that holds us here to get the job done. We can't negate the 2D telluric realms, the dragon kingdoms, the dragon palaces, the nodes of our planet. You know, we can't negate who we are here and what we're holding here. And this is the 1, 2, 3 dimensional spectrum of frequencies that are 1, 2, 3 hop, skip, jumping. So much has been going on within our intraterrestrial realms. As I said, there are gateways that are realigning to surface Earth that have been shut off and have not been connected for many, many millennia, and that is all realigning now. And that's why there's been so much rocking and rolling too going on with the tectonic plates and the volcanic chain systems and everything around the ring of fire and ice, because this is what's going on now. Everything's waking up. Everything is reanimating. Those things that we saw as inanimate objects are all becoming alive to us now. We are reanimating them because we are now recognizing our sacred sacrum and our creatrix womb gates, and how that that ignites and exalts and brings vitality. That's why a lot of the dragons are being seen now by many of us. That's why the giants are coming back into our consciousness. And they've been pitted against each other as arch enemies, and they're not. They're both needed to get the job done, and they work together. This is another bullshit story fed into the mythos. And this is where we're learning to really hold true to our pure gnosis now. You know, we're souls in quintessence, and we're dissolving all those astral fragments and all the entrapments of illusory play. And, you know, there's many distortions dissolving now and integrating, you know, and this is what's allowing these eternal cosmic solar gateway access points on our earth and within our earth to restore once more. So, you know, as I say, when we think not much is happening on the physical level, or we're just going through the motions and tapping our toe, oh my God, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Or, oh my God, I don't have enough hours in the day to get everything done. Just know that on a multitude of dimensional levels and realms, we are working overtime, and we are just coming into remembrance of the dimensional facets of self. And this is the rainbow diamond body, and this is the dimensional facets of the prism, you know, and not just the nice colors of the rainbow that we like. We're going into the darker regions too. You know, and that's the pineal gland, is, you know, that very dark indigo color. We're going into the reds. You know, people tend to shy away from going into the reds and the power. You know, oh, that's anger and that's base stuff. And no, we're accessing it all, and we're utilizing it all now. We're alchemizing it all, and you know, we're through source and source code.
Do you think this is why a lot of people are in solitude and isolation now? To, as a human, or for our human aspect, to take this all in, even if we're not conscious of it, or we are conscious of it?
Absolutely. I know I have to. I'm very hermetic. And all this week I've been hearing hermetically sealed, hermetically sealed. And so it's not that when these gates open up, we're left all open and vulnerable. We're hermetically sealed at each stage. But to go into that sealing of the next spiral and frequency on the octave, we have to allow space for that integration. We have to allow space for the gnosis, not time, space. And it's not about necessarily having to take a lot of time. It's about quality. It's about quality time for the integration of the consciousness to catch up on this level. You know, our personality selves that we think are the be all end all, and we're not. You know, there's so many dimensional facets of self that are just, you know, wanting to meet us. Yeah, but and also wanting to meet us, that help us get the job, help us get the job done with ease and with grace. Yeah, what you're talking about is the false ego. That
Well,
that
I mean,
aspect of
but whether it comes on too strong or too little, it wants to be seen and be brought into the circle. Yeah, I mean, the ego is part. Well, it's probably the essential. Would you say the essential part of the human incarnations? The catalyst. You know, I mean, it's me. It's. I
well,
mean, this
yeah,
is.
in the
Yeah. Go ahead.
in Vedic philosophy, it's seen as another element. You know, there's five physical elements, and you know, that make up our body, our elemental and molecular structure, and then the fifth element being the quintessence, where everything comes together, time and space. But we can also see the fifth element, or time and space, becoming love, heart connected, coherence. And then we've got three elements that they considered they consider as part of subtle material elements, and that is the false ego, faulty intelligence, and the mind. And so faulty intelligence is the stuff that has been fed into the mind from outside that hasn't been run past the true self and alchemized into pure gnosis. And then we've got the false ego, who wants it to lord it over material nature and doesn't recognize or want to acknowledge that it is part and parcel of the divine. And so and then when it does come into coherence, it then becomes true ego, or God connected ego and real ego. And so everything has its place, but it's seen as an element. And that's really interesting, that it's part of our elemental and molecular structure. And our elemental and molecular structure, by what has been happening lately, has also gone through, I say, periodic law is off the table now. The tables that we have for the periodic table, they're so obsolete now.
As with
Like,
everything
there's so
else.
new elements. Yes. And this is why I talk about the biotech overriding all that, because we, as we
Like
shift.
the soul biotech, like, what came into this
Yeah, the
thing with us.
quintessence.
Yeah,
The quintessence. When the five.
can you verbalize the definition of that quintessence again? I meant to ask you a minute ago, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, well, the quintessence, quint means five, so and essence. So it's when the five elements come together in perfect harmony, beyond duality, reality, polarity, pull. When they come in, that creates the quintessence. And it was known to the alchemists of old that this is the purest substance that we can access.
Yeah, it's like
Of our
multi,
soul,
like,
of our
yeah.
soul, not even multidimensional, beyond all that.
No, I just meant like
It's
multi, like all of our streams coming together in one place at one time, spontaneously,
yeah,
intuitively, creatively. I mean, sacredly, sexually, however you want to put it. To further creation, it's almost like you can't further creation until you get to that point, and the world can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, and that's not like some kind of a judgment. It's just a reality of being at that level of relaxation and trust and
yeah.
inspiration, and everything else, the virtues of the soul. And, yeah. And to be in a field where there's not one or 10 or 100 or even a million, it's more, and it grows very rapidly. To be coming into that space and this physical density in these bodies, the potential is probably beyond anything the universe or the mother could even think of in this moment, because she doesn't know what's going to happen. It's powerful.
Well, we've got that free will, as minute as it is, and we're using it. So yeah, it's being shifted up at every minute, every for want of a better word. But it all goes back to this moving into the heart, and we are the children of the one heart race. We are here as one heartbeat, one heart, one world, and that is one sparring blood song coursing through our great ley arteries, our ley lines, and our dragon nodes and our song lines. That is that blood song of the mother, and we are learning to listen, to hear that melody again. And that's why I always say, people say, oh, well, what should I sing these, light language words I'm getting? I say, in the melody of the heart and the key of the soul, just, and this is the expansive consciousness, frequencies that are really being disseminated now. And it's incredible. It's incredible. What's happened in the last 2 weeks has just shifted. And we can go into so many ways how that has happened. A lot of grids that were overriding the mother's organic body and her grids have been dismantled now. Things that have been tampered with regarding time, things like certain places on our planet that house devices that relate to time are actually being thrown out now. Things like what's underneath Montauk, things like what's going on in CERN, they've been thrown out this week because a lot of that has been dismantled because they can't tap into it anymore. As I say, there's no piggybacking anymore.
Now, what do you mean
And
they've been thrown out? Like they're thrown out of our field even though we may not be aware of it? Like those types of
yeah,
things of that frequency that can't
those,
meet our frequency fall away. Is that
yes,
right?
yes, yes, but it also works on holding us in a particular frequency band to get the job done. And that's shifted up heaps since the last almost Carrington event. And that has shifted up a lot and dismantled a lot of the timelines and a lot of the grids that allow certain people and certain beings to time jump and move around our planet dimensionally. This is not something of the past. This is still going on. And, certain Indigenous people know how to time jump. They know how to walk through the interdimensional doors. And there are certain families on this planet that know how to do this too. And there are certain jump zones that have been brought back into the organic. And that's what I'm referring to here.
I got you. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because it both puts on the table that those families at all have the access to these things that you're talking about, which is no different than secreting away the esoteric knowledge. But what you bring out is that it doesn't take away from the fact that we have really not just equal, but greater access to those points because our hearts are more open and more in alignment with universal will.
Yes, but it's also the meta keys we hold. There are certain people that are coming back, and the gateways are opening because there are certain beings coming in now, and we can call it our ancient futurists. Technicians are actually coming in now through those gateways, and they're also coming in embodied consciousness through those gateways. And they're holding the biotech that's opening up all the spiritual technologies and the Stargate systems on our planet in the organic. And that's a game changer because there's only so much that can be accessed and tampered with and only piggybacked off. These systems cannot be created from scratch through malware. Now that's the relief part, but there is a lot of fuckery that has happened and is trying
Say
to
it loud.
continue to happen at on various levels. I'm Australian, I'm Irish. We call a spade a shovel. We don't mince our words. But everybody knows, don't be offended. My heart's coming from the right place. And this is how it is for me. Sometimes there are things that cut through when we speak certain language that really cuts through those types of vibrations that hold patterns of sticky goo. And that's another thing that's happened this week. A lot of the water memory field of our planet and the celestial water memory field has really bathed and cleansed a lot of the black goo on our planet. And there's so much happening on so many levels. It's just mind-blowing.
No, yeah.
But this allows us to tap back into the pure plasmic water memory field in coherence. It allows us to tap back into the amniotic fluidity of our mother. And that amniotic fluid is what creates our cerebral spinal fluid, our golden elixir. And this is what allows us to remember in ways that stabilizes the emotional body and what I call ancient Thor primordial flow, and that there are very important meta keys coming in to our planet now through embodied conscious beings that are arriving on our planet, not just through birthing through their mothers, but also through walk-ins,
Yeah.
and in other ways to interface with the elemental and molecular restructuring. As the frequencies raise, more beings can come in and work with the earth at this level. So again, there's a lot of netting systems that have collapsed that have allowed our stellar brethren to come back in and interface with us. And yes, there will be more sightings. This is the year of the fire horse. Fire is about the sight, it's about the vision. And so people are going to become more clairvoyant. People are going to see things in ways that have not been seen before. And people are already doing this and seeing this. But I'm talking more in a collective sense, more in the collective unconscious to subconscious to conscious states. And through the rainbow diamond body, the spectrum of the prism of light that comes through our pineal and all through the upper gland systems, what I call switching on, going live at the Crystal Palace. All this is opening up now, and with it, we're going to be able to envision and see our world in a completely new light. And this is where all the mythical realms are opening up to people. And yeah, it's just pure activation now up that higher, spiral.
Yeah. And I keep getting this, in my nightly communion, which is like, once you have the experience, or I have the experience, and then I try to like make, some type of sense of it, I just kind of hear this voice and it says, don't even try to figure it out, because this thing goes much more multi-dimensional than you even know. And I heard last night on the vertical, obviously, but now on the horizontal. So as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, I wonder if we're going to come into a space where we actually have our soul in more than one place on the horizontal. Like the way we're pulling in the soul family or the soul monad or even ourselves, even like with the walk-in thing. Like the information from the walk-in thing, which I never really bought into for myself. I certainly respected it with other people, but about a month or 6 weeks ago, it came in. I got all this information, like you had to walk in here, you had to walk in here. And now it's
Yep.
like every 3 days. But yeah, the connection is the only way I could put it. The connection, because the only place I can really judge where I can see a change or I can, appraise any type of movement would be to go to the Bay here for the last 7 or 8 months. And the level of communication that has come in the physicality, not through my eyes closed in meditation or in communion with my eyes closed or plant medicine or out of body or whatever, but actually conscious in my human body, the things that I have seen in the last 2 weeks really, compared to what I've seen before, and I've had many divine episodes, like so many of us, there's no comparison. Like it's almost so blatant that you're going, this can't even be real. There's no way. There's
It's
no way.
palpable. It's
Yeah.
palpable now. It really is palpable. And that is us dissolving those astral fragments and the entrapments of illusory play. Part of the founder races is that we anchored in through the vertical axiotonal axis gates. And that is now starting to allow us to create horizontal dilation. So there's been a huge anchoring in the vertical and the horizontal. So the anchoring has come in deeper, and the alchemizing of that anchoring through the diamond rainbow body, and it is through our body, embodied consciousness, and that's creating horizontal dilation on this level. That
what she said.
is creating, yeah, it's creating that here, the horizontal dilation. And that's why the womb gates are in full dilation now, because we're getting that expansive consciousness and we're getting that horizontal dilation to bring everything in through this vertical anchoring and alchemizing. And yeah.
There is a feminine voice howling out in the street,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what that is, but I know it means it means something. It's like a liberation. Like, oh my God, I can't even explain it.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Can you hear it? This is the
Yeah.
directional. You can hear it. Wow.
Yeah.
I saw one in particular, but I saw two actually, but one in particular. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but before we get out of here, I just wanted to ask you, do you want to offer some light language up? Because what I saw on the video today was very profound. But if not, whatever you'd like to talk about or part company with in terms of what you have to offer, what you can see or what's going on, or advice.
Well, let's do something. Well, let's experience and let's feel into what's coming, what's springing in my heart is to do with the pre-Lemurian Codex. And again, this is a pre-fall, pre-Lemurian Holocaust. This helps to stabilize the emotional body, to integrate a lot of the stories around galactic wars, electric wars between the galaxies and our planet, being able to access the Lemurian heart, the light body of the pre-Lemurian Codex, that is the founder race. And we simply do this. We put our fingertips together and just tap, and we use the vowels A, E, I, O, U, and we just put M in front. And that is ma 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 me 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 mo 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 mo. So if you're feeling anything coming up emotionally, whether you know consciously what that is connected to, or you're not sure where the core wound is coming from, this is a way to stabilize the Lemurian light body. And the light language I will do now, or I will speak now, is the blessing for the pre-Lemurian Codex. Tukuria te kia, rotokutin, natatoru suta te ana, haro tokuhuri este, takohoro toki I. Rotoku hiara takahashta, rotokutena manayene te te, rotokuhori te heu. Mashtakaya te ki hora takaharu te. Ira papaya na haru tukuru aranati antu tukuru malakushik malaku Iratu antu kurusaitu Marata ko horo ni he. Esayata ko oro to kiyana. Asayatiti. Asayana aro titi. Matoriati. Matoriati. Matoriati ko.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Todd.
much. I totally received that, and I got it, and I don't want to try to verbalize it because we'll be here for 15 minutes. I will see you soon. Thank you for your service to humanity. Thank you for showing up on the day, and let me know what the next pivotal day is, because now I'm starting to get used to it. Now I know why I was on my back
And
all day.
we have 33 viewers right now, so it's all perfect.
There you go. Yeah, there you
Yay!
go. All
Thank
right.
you, everyone, for joining us, and for those that will join us with Pure Gnosis in the playback. Thank you so much for being here. We are here now, and it is truly glorious.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Raeline. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.